Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the new session on JavaScript on this front-end playlist. We are in lecture number 69, and we are starting with JavaScript Mixed Projects part number 5. Okay. So we have already done four of the parts on HTML and CSS Mixed Projects. If you have not seen that, please go ahead and see it. Actually, we have done three. We have done HTML Mixed Projects 1, Mixed Projects 2, Mixed Projects 3, in which we have talked about a lot of things about the projects which you can design using HTML and CSS, right? But we did not describe anything about JavaScript there. We only did some codings with HTML and CSS. But yeah, three or four projects were there which were including some JS, like a digital clock was there, a digital calculator was there, and a to-do list was there, which was having some amount of JavaScript code as well, right? So today also we are going to do the same thing. That is why it is named as mixed projects, right? So today we are going to understand some of the projects which will be having only HTML and CSS, and also which will be having JavaScript as well, some amount of JavaScript as well. So I'm going to show you what all things we are going to do, and this will be two sessions. Mixed project 4 is missing here right now, and it is there. Do not worry, it is there. It will be coming maybe by tomorrow at the same time. So tomorrow at the same time, I'm going to take one more session of mixed projects, and I'm going to again explain some 3 to 4 projects there as well. So 4 and 5 will be this much. Okay. Now, new people who do not know what is happening here and what's going on. So let me just speak about it. So basically, we are CodeBeyond by Unacademy, who are providing, basic front-end course, free content course on this platform. So there's a playlist which is going on right now on this particular channel, which is front-end playlist, which is covered by me. And I'm covering all the basic knowledge of all the basic knowledges and languages and frameworks, which if you know, then you can crack the interviews, right? So that's what we are covering right now. And we have already completed HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. It's just that the ending part is left, and we are covering the advanced JavaScript and some of the projects and some interview questions around JavaScript. That's what we are doing right now. Okay. Now, if you do not know about me, then let me introduce myself. So my name is Ritwik Raj, and I'm a corporate trainer. I have also worked as a subject matter expert and a research analyst in most of the edtech companies. I have 3+ years of teaching experience, and I've trained graduates and corporate employees from Edison and Capgemini. I've trained more than 30K students till now. It is increasing day by day. The subjects which I take is mostly into front-end development, back-end development, database languages, and mostly into full stack development domain. And I also do take tips and tricks on how to crack interviews. So this is the day today when I'll be taking tips and tricks on how to crack interviews. Today we have two sessions aligned, right? Let's see if even we can do one, right? I'm planning to do one today and one tomorrow. Let's see if it can happen. But yeah, we have two sessions aligned to today itself, one at 6:30 and one at 9. So just have a look and please join, and let's discuss about what all tips and tricks we need to do the interview preparation, right? This will be non-technical, so this is not in this playlist. This interview preparation tips and tricks sessions will be on another playlist. So if you go and check out the channel, you'll be able to find the playlist, and you'll be able to find the video as well. Okay. Now I have a very good news for you. If you do not know about Relevel, then I will explain it to about you in just 1 minute. But the people who already know what is Relevel, then you can use my code RIT10 to get a free level sample test paper. Okay. This particular free Relevel sample test paper will help you in guiding what all type of questions have been asked in the actual test, or some guidance around which pattern of questions can be asked around the actual test, right? So make sure that you're using the coupon code while registering yourself in Relevel. Okay. Now, the people who do not know what is Relevel, then let me introduce it to you. Okay. If anybody who is my student and who is watching this live session, give me a hi or give me a thumbs up. I can understand that you guys are there, right? Just a thumbs up or just a hi, hey, or just let me know if the voice and everything is clear. Yeah, so I can see that everything is clear. I hope there is no problem from your side, right? So let's get started with this session. Okay. Now, talking about Relevel is a product of Unacademy, which has been come for some reasons, right? Let's talk about some reasons why Unacademy decided to bring that. Now, many times what happens that candidates miss out on great opportunities because of many reasons, right? Now, reason can be like, suppose that one student is doing BSc, BC or BCom, but has much more interest in getting into an IT company. He is having the skills as well. He know the programming languages. He has developed some products also, but because he's having a different degree, most of the MNC companies are rejecting his resumes. Right now, it's very unfortunate, right? Because it should not happen. When a person is having the skill, he should be admired and he should be getting into the interviews. Correct. Also, the scenario can be that you are an engineering graduate, but still you are from tier 3 college, and that's why many of the MNC companies are not looking into your resumes, because they want better candidates who are from tier 1, tier 2. But who knows that you have the skill and you are much more better than those, right? So these are the situations when candidates miss out on great opportunities, right? And we do not want this to happen. So Relevel is India's first test hiring platform by Unacademy, which is helping job seekers find their dream jobs, and you can get a job on the basis of skill and talent. Okay. Now, you do not have to depend upon any degree or any other connections. You just have to pass one simple free exam. Okay. Now, this free exam is of 1,000 marks. So you have to score above 700 marks to get eligible or to get a profile, which will be shared among all our 50 plus clients across India and companies, including top startups and unicorns, which will be giving you 1,000 plus job positions across business development, front development, and backend development, right? So it's quite cool, right? Now, suppose that in your first attempt you have not scored more than 700, then do not worry. After 30 days, you can reattempt the test, correct? Now, with Relevel, you are in a unique position to invite interest from companies instead of hunting of opportunities on your own. So that's really cool, correct? Now, let's get into registering in Relevel, because now we have an idea what is Relevel. We know what is the benefits of it, right? So let's get started with how to register yourself in Relevel. So the link of the website is given in the description. Which video you are watching right now, if you go to the description, you'll find a link there. Click on it. It will take you to relevel.com, and then you have to register yourself. So you have to put down the mobile number and get an OTP. Once you do that, you will be in this page. Now, in this page, basically, you have to choose the skill which you have, or you have to select the test of your choice. So suppose you are very good in front-end development, so just select that particular you know test, and then you have to book a slot. So book a slot when you want to give the level test. Slots are limited, so I suggest you to book it fast. Okay. Now, once you do that, you have to fill in your details for getting the admit card. So full name, email ID, birth year, current state, gender. After all of these things, when you'll fill, you have to fill the coupon code. So once you fill the coupon code, you have to click on apply. You have to click on create account, right? And suppose if you're not filling up the coupon code, which is RIT10, then you're not getting the sample paper in your account. So please make sure that you are using the coupon code RIT10 in your this portion, right? And once you click on create account, your account will be created with the sample paper on it. Okay, now you can download this sample paper and you can go ahead and check out what all kind of questions have been asked, and you'll get an idea about it so that it will be helpful for your actual test. Correct. Now, the people who have already registered for it, all the best for your actual test. If you have not registered, go ahead and do it, because slots are limited, as I already said. And also, if you have not done it yet, that means you're not ready for it, you're not ready for the exam, you don't have skills enough to crack the exam, then do one thing: go ahead and upskill yourself. How you're gonna upskill yourself? You have to go ahead and watch these playlists, whichever is coming up in this channel. There are so many educators who is taking different domains. So there are DSA, CP, and Python, SQL, backend, frontend, everything is going on, right? So go ahead and watch those sessions. After 1 month, when you are ready, when you feel that, okay, now I have upskilled myself and I'm ready to give this exam, you can register yourself, right? So that's what is all about Relevel, and I hope you will use the coupon code also. Now, you can join the Telegram channel as well. The Telegram channel link is given in the description. What will happen when you join the Telegram channel? Basically, you'll get all the notifications and updates about when a particular educator is coming live, at what time, with what topic. These all things, all updates you will get inside the Telegram channel. Also, please do subscribe the YouTube channel, which is CodeBeyond, and please hit the notification bell so that you get an update and notifications in the YouTube app as well. Also, if you're liking the session, then please like and share so that many people will get to know about this free session, and they'll be able to gain some knowledge free of cost, correct? So let's get started with project. Okay, now, hi Somu, hi Ankush, hello bro. Can you tell how to start freelancing and web development? And sorry, my college has started in offline mode. I'm not able to attend your live classes. No worries, Somu. The classes are already in the playlist, so anytime you can watch it. It's not important that only in the live session you have to watch, but yeah, watching the live session is much more beneficial. And if you have your college, don't worry. You can watch it whenever you have free time. Okay, so but please do not skip those videos if you're following me from the starting, because once you skip, then your advanced JavaScript knowledge will not be there, right? And I'm covering most of the things right now. Advanced JavaScript part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4 is live. Part 4 I'm just coming up with, sorry, part 5 I'm just coming up with. Today it was scheduled to come, but for some reason it didn't happen. But yeah, let's see when we can bring up part 5, so we will also understand what is currying and other topics as well. Okay, now can you tell how to start freelancing and web development? So basically, first of all, you should have the idea about front-end development, right? And once you have the idea about web development or front development, you have done some projects, you can go ahead and use some freelancing websites. The most common one is Upwork, right? Or freelancer.com. So go ahead and apply and create a profile on those applications, right? On those platforms. So what profile you have to create, you have to just tell them, you have to just tell there that what you are doing right now and what you're fond of and what you have already done in web development, right? If you have done some projects, put up some projects link there in the profile, so that whenever a particular client is looking in your profile, he will be able to know, okay, he can do my work. And that's when, if you'll get also, if you'll get one particular client, then please tell that client that, okay, I've done your work and I hope you liked it, so can you please share my profile with all other colleagues which you have, so that more work can come to me, right? And it's very okay to ask it, because it is your first attempt and you're just starting it with. So once you do this, that chain will go on and you will get that particular interest in it, and more opportunities will come to you, right? And in Upwork, I have done more of freelancing work, so I'm very much comfortable with Upwork. Freelancer.com I have not used too much. Fiverr also I have not used too much. But yeah, so go ahead and use Upwork. That will be really useful for you. So you have to just keep on applying on the whatever client is asking. You have to just see the requirement, you have to apply there. So once you start one freelancing, again and again looking in your particular projects, more and more clients will come. Okay, that you can do. Also, freelancing is not only to create some web development things, but freelancing is also about doing some teachings, right? So let's say that you want to go ahead and teach in some of the institutions, or let's say in some colleges, or let's say in some educational companies, right? So you can do that as well, because that will also enhance your knowledge, and you will be able to learn something from your students as well, because you don't know what students will be asking to you, right? So once this will happen, you will be able to also understand web development in a more uh, deeper manner, correct? So this is also kind of freelancing which you can do, right? Most of the people also do that. So freelancing is not only to create a web page for a client, it's also in teaching. It's also, there are many such blogging, that is also freelancing thing, right? You can write blog pages, you can write content creation, you can do those all things also coming in freelancing. At what particular time we should start freelancing, Ankush? So as soon as you are very confident in one of the languages, or you have a hold on one of the language, you can start freelancing. It's not also the advanced concept. Even if you know the basic concepts, you can start freelancing. But please understand, again, freelancing is of different levels. You can't do freelancing for an international client if you do not know the advanced concepts, right? You cannot design a particular product if you don't have the advanced concepts. Now, if you have the basic concepts, if you have a basic idea and you want to work it off, so you have the skill and you want to use it, right? Go ahead for these teaching platforms, right? There are so many companies who are providing, teaching kids how to code, right? So small kids are now understanding how to code. You can go ahead and work on those companies. That will really help you. That will really help you, because you never know what kids can ask, because right now kids are really, really talented and they can do a lot more than what you are doing. So that is one thing which you can do. And now when you will have advanced concept knowledge also, then you can go ahead and create things for your international clients, and you'll be paid in dollars, right? So try to work on those things. So there's no correct time to start freelancing. Whenever you are very confident about it, whenever you are very sure about your content, your particular knowledge, you can start doing it. Okay, but you have to be very confident about it. If you have any doubts, do not start earning. That will lead to a big problem. When React is going to start, Singa Gaming, I have already told this in my earlier classes also. I'm just trying to complete JavaScript, advanced JavaScript, and soon I'm going to start Bootstrap also. I think by 30th is my day when I'm starting Bootstrap and jQuery. So on 30th, we'll be starting Bootstrap, jQuery, Tailwind CSS, and with that, React will also start. Okay, so just wait. This particular playlist will be filled with all the front-end languages, right? Till now you have seen I've covered almost all the advanced topics and most of the topics which are not being discussed in some other places as well, right? But here it is there, which is also free. Ankush, hi. So sir, I've learned HTML, CSS and JavaScript. What to do will be excellent for me right now. Freelancing will be perfect for you. Okay, try to increase your knowledge in freelancing, because freelancing is something which needs patience. Like you must be thinking that, okay, I know HTML, CSS and JavaScript, and the next day I'll keep on applying for some client companies, and by day after tomorrow I'll get some company's request and I can start working on it. I can start freelancing and I can start earning. But that is not the case. Many times what happens, it takes time. It takes a whole lot of time to uh, get approval for your request, right? That means you have got a work from your client. Okay, because there are a lot of people who are much more talented than you who are doing freelancing, and obviously most of the clients will go there to solve their problem. They will not come to you because you have just started, right? So you have to find that particular client who understands you, that you are a beginner, and then he gives works to you so that they know that they are in risk, right? You are just a fresher. They know they are in risk, but still they are giving you some opportunity so that you can enhance your knowledge. You have to find that particular customer. You have to find that particular client from these platforms. There are so many platforms. Just do a search in Google. You'll be able to find a lot of platforms who are doing freelancing. But this starting thing will, you have to be very patient enough, because it can take 2 months, 3 months to get the first client. Once you get the first or the second client, then nobody's going to stop you. You are going to get a lot of clients after that. Okay, that's what I'm going to give an idea and suggestion. And meanwhile, you can also keep on applying for your jobs, right? I don't know what you're doing right now. Maybe you're in third semester or a third year or fourth year, but keep on applying, keep on giving interviews, because you never know. If you're getting selected, that's perfect. Even if you're not getting selected, you're getting a vibe that what kind of questions is asked, and that fear of sitting in front of a interviewer or virtual interview will go, right? So that's why even if you're in third year, go ahead and attend some interviews. Okay, perfect. So let's get started with projects. There's a lot of things which you can ask and I'll be able to answer that, right? And do not worry, any questions, I'll be taking it forward, okay? But right now, let's start with some of the projects and let's understand how these projects actually work. Now, please understand, these projects are beginner level. I'm not trying to show you any kind of project which is really hard to make or which is not being able to, you can't understand those things. So just make sure that when you are referring to my content, this is only for beginner purpose. Okay, only for those purpose where an interviewer can ask some questions and you can crack those interviews. Okay, so that's what it is. Now we will do first some 4 projects and we'll try to see how to do that, and those are here. Okay, and just have a look what we are going to create. So this is basically a photography page, right? Why I wanted to show you this, this particular project you can get anywhere, okay? But particularly this project, why I wanted to show you, because if you can see, if you scroll down, there are 5 images which you can get here. Okay, there are 5 images which you can get here. Okay, now even you can see what all images are there, correct? But if I reload the page, then I can get different images. So every time I reload the page, I'm getting a different image, right? And if you are a frequent candidate in my sessions, you must be knowing how to do that. You must be knowing how to do that, because I have done some projects in which I've told you that you can use a link which is a very special link, and whenever you actually reload the page, the image also changes. Now I don't know if you have seen that particular project or not, but this kind of projects are really nice to showcase in your projects part, because it gives you an idea, it gives the feel to the interviewer that okay, you have explored a lot much more than what other people are not doing. So whenever you reload the page, you get a different kind of images, right? The second is your form validation. Very, very important project. It's a very simple project, which here it is, right? But you can enhance it more. You can, any project, whatever projects I am teaching you is a very basic one. Like it is having a minimal code, minimal styles, minimal, everything is very minimum. You can always enhance this. You can always add your own features. You can always add some animation transitions. That's all upon you. But the main fact what I'm trying to say is the different kinds of projects which is there in the market. So this is form validation. Obviously you know about it. You put some names, you put some email ID, you put some phone number, select something, submit. It tells you an error that please enter valid email ID, right? Because there's no valid email ID. Now you'll say that we know how to do this. You can use type equal to email, but when you do type equal to email, it gives you the notification here itself, but it's not happening here. It is something different. And even if I give here some kind of thing, it gives me valid 10-digit phone number. So in every statement, there is a validation happening, right? So this is what is form validation. We are going to see how to do that. Again, you will understand that it's very easy thing, but we have some JavaScript code also here, and that's why I have included this particular project here. Counter. Now again, this particular project, again, you can find anywhere in the web, but this is also one of the most amazing thing in JavaScript, because you'll be using here JavaScript, and you can see it's increasing, it's decreasing, reset will come 0. So this is what we are going to do. Understand the CSS of this, what you can see is very, very common and bigger, right? So CSS will not do, but it will mostly focus into JavaScript, because we are understanding JavaScript Mixed Projects. So understanding JavaScript programs are much more, will be helpful here. So that's what we are going to do here in the counter project. And the another one is this one. So we have here one of the nav bar, right? And this nav bar is having some of the links on the right hand side, correct? Now if I move this, so you can see here what's happening. That particular link, so it's basically the media query which I'm doing here, and I've just resized my browser. That's why you can see in the app, in the video as well, that it is shrinked, right? It is stretched. So don't worry about that. I have just resized my browser, and to show you this, so when you click on this particular menu bar, you can see all those links are coming up here, right? So that's what we are going to do. And a lot of more projects are also there, but right now I just want to show you these all 4 things, because let's see if we can complete these 4, and then we are going to move to the next projects. Okay, so I'm going to just close it for now, and we are going to move to the another projects as well later on. Okay, yeah, I will be taking down some of the comments. Just one second. Okay, Ankush, you are in 3rd semester, so you have time to get a job, right? But yeah, make sure that once you are going into 6th semester, 7th semester, do not tell anybody, and just go ahead and apply for some internships and some jobs. Do not worry about whether you are getting into a job and how you're going to do some things, and whether you're not getting selected. Do not worry about that. Just try to give some interviews. You'll get a lot of experience from that. Yes, Ankush, using Unsplash. Yes, correct. So we are going to use Unsplash, not only Unsplash, but this also called as source.unsplash.com. So it's not the Unsplash website, but it's the source.unsplash from where you get a different images by writing a particular URL, a different kind of URL, right? Sir, can you tell me other projects ideas also? Yes, I will surely tell you other projects ideas also. And there are a lot of things like you have the nav bar, right? So you can do it as sidebar. Like from the sidebar, you want to bring up the menu and maybe the full screen menu. So you want to have the full screen as a menu bar. Um, I have some more. I'll try to explain you those itself. Just try to watch it. I don't know how much bigger this session will be. And if you guys will be sticking with me, then I hope I'll, increase this particular session till 3 hours as well, right? So let's try to do that and let's try to learn not only these 4 projects, but more. So perfect. Let's get started without wasting much time. So I'm going to just create a folder here. Just trying to write here projects, right? And in this project, let's create one more folder and I'm just going to write here landing page. Okay. So we have this landing page. We cannot create one more folder. One second. Let's do something. Let's open up another folder itself. Let's not do here inside web development project. Let's create another folder itself. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my desktop, and in my desktop, I'm just going to create a new folder. Going to just say it as code projects, right? So I've created that. Now let's open file and let's open folder. Let's go to desktop. Let's open code projects. Yeah, so I hope you can see the file, right? This is the code projects, and I'm going to just now create a new folder here now. Okay, so this is my landing page, right? And in this folder, I'm going to create index.html. Okay, and I'm going to start writing my code. So I hope you understood that this is a new folder which I've created, because it will be really good if you can see all your projects here, right? Now let's close my desktop and let me just write here a photography page. Okay, photography landing page. Going to save this. Let's move back to our live server and let's check out whether it is working or not, so that we can at least get our results, right? So this is my page where I'm getting all the my particular photography page, right? Now keep on understanding this particular project in a very detailed manner, right? What we'll be doing, how we are going to write the code, and how we are going to do everything. Okay, before starting this, let me just tell you some of the things. Ankush, I'll read your comment. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, now so basically what I'm going to write here is all the projects which I have already done with you. Okay, so there are some of the projects which I've already done. If you have not seen that, then you can go ahead and see it. The first one which I've done is image carousel, right? If you do not remember, I have done this particular project which was using JavaScript as well. So this was image carousel, and another one was a quiz, right? And the another one was a tip calculator. I gave you this as an assignment, I believe. And another one was to-do list, right? And one was digital clock, and another one was digital calculator, right? These small projects which we have done for the beginners, right? These were for the beginners. And if you have not started with any project in web development, you can start with these projects as well, right? And today, whatever we'll be doing, that also you can start with. So I'm just going to comment it here so that you can make a note of it. But I'm going to also give you some idea about what intermediate projects you can create. So Ankush, this is for you and all of the other people who wants a different kind of projects, a different advanced kind of projects in their resumes, right? So I've also told you about portfolio, your own portfolio web page. This is one of the project which is really very trending right now. Many of the web developers and front developers are creating this, and many of them, what they are doing is they are not actually creating their resume, but they are just putting down this link of their portfolio in their resumes. And once the particular interviewer goes to their portfolio, they are trying to see what all everything about that particular person is there in this portfolio. So this is a very good web page which you can create. I have also created this web page using table based layout, so go check out if you have not done that. But yeah, this web page you can create for your particular resume, right, or for your experience. Then the next one is e-commerce website. Now this can be anything. Do not say that a clothing brand or something. This can be anything, right? Electricity components, or maybe water supply, something kind of thing, or agriculture kind of thing. So please be very unique from other students what they are doing. Do not create a clothing brand or something, because everybody does that, right? A shoes brand or a clothing brand, or these kind of things everybody does. Try to do something else. Maybe an origami web page, right? Maybe a paper folding web page, right? There are some websites which will do some creative things, right? They create some happy birthday cards and they deliver it. In lockdown, many people have done that, and in lockdown, this is a very good example. In lockdown, many people have created their own websites from where they're selling things which they are actually creating by hand. So those kind of websites you can create. One music player. Now again, music player can be a simple one, or it can be a very difficult one. Let's say the Spotify thing, right? You can try to clone this, right? If you already know advanced JavaScript, you can clone it. You can do that. One more what you can do is you can clone one of the social media pages like FB or Insta, any one page, not the whole thing, but just the page. Also, if you can create, you will be having and getting an idea how these things works. So this you can do. And some other projects what you can do is a game. So let's say snake game, right? Tic-tac-toe. This is one of the game which you can do. Now these games, what they actually tells you is not that how to create a game, but also how JavaScript functionality works inside a code, right? Because these games uses JavaScript functionalities, and a very good concept of JavaScript you will get here. So snake game, tic-tac-toe game, and we have some more. So there's a card flip game. If you don't know, there's a card flip game which you can create. This game is also very popular. You can create this also. There is one more which is rock, paper and scissors. These all games you can get anywhere in the web, right? In the YouTube, in the web, in the internet, anywhere you can get. But again, do not try to just copy and paste it. If you copy and paste and you say that I've done this, nobody is gonna check on those, because everybody will do that. So what you have to do is you have to enhance some things in all of these projects. You have to do something of your own, right? And then you have to publish it or put it in your resume. So maybe snake game, you will do some enhancement. Maybe you will add some more properties into it. Maybe in tic-tac-toe you will add some more properties which will tell you the scores as well, right? And maybe in card flip game you will do some extra properties. So try to enhance your particular projects, whatever you are seeing from any other websites or any other tutorials. Try to enhance them. I'm not doing these because these all are available already, and you can do it. I'm just trying to here to inform you, right? And tutorials are already there, so there's no special kind of thing which I'll be doing here, right? So that's why I'm not gonna take this, but I'm giving you some of the projects which are really unique, right? Which you can showcase and which you will be able to understand very easily. So those I will be able to doing. What else? I think this much is enough for now, right? There are still a lot of projects on animations, right? Like bouncing ball and all. So you can do this anytime, but yeah, these are all for experience. So you can create these all. I've already done these all things, and these are all the ideas which I've given you. Ankush, if you are there, then please do let me know if these are enough for you, right? So that's what it is. So can we get in touch in WhatsApp so that I can contact you personally? Ankush, it's not allowed to me to give me my personal email ID or anything, right? But you can always find me in LinkedIn and you can connect me there. So it will be really helpful. So there we can contact. Okay. Fine. So let's start this particular code now, which is for the landing page, and let's understand how this is gonna work. Okay. Now somebody has already told me that we are going to use the what? The unsplash.com, right? So let's try to do this. Now this particular session can be lengthy, so I'm please saying that if you're doing it with me, do this coding with me. It will be really interesting, because if you're just watching it, you will get bored and you will just close the session. Okay. Before starting, just one more thing, that interview sessions are going to happen today itself. Please call all your students and all who wants to understand how to start an interview and how to get started with it. I'm not going to just start with explaining how to crack an interview, but I'm going to start with your career itself. When you are in college, what you should do. If you're in a third sem, what you should be doing right now. From there, I'll start explaining things, right? So please join that session. That session will be really good. Today at 6:30 and 9 p.m. both the sessions will be live. So I'm gonna teach you all those things, right? So please do join that. I'm going to also tell you, if you're a non-programmer, if you're from some other background, then how you can turn into a programmer, how you can turn your whole career into a programming. Those all things we are going to discuss, and a lot of points I'm going to share. Okay, that will be non-programming things, that will be non-technical, so it'll be really good for you to understand. It'll be kind of a lecture series which I'll be taking. It will not be a kind of where I'm doing some programmings and all, but it'll be mostly into uh, talking and telling things, or sharing my personal experience, whichever I have faced in my interviews. So those things I'm gonna share there. Yeah, cool, Ankush. There's no problem. You can go ahead. So I'm just typing it down. The main h1 tags, right? That is the heading which I'll get there. And I'm going to also put up here h2. So here I'm going to just say amazing nature photography. So this is just the heading which I'm creating. Okay. And to this, I'll be having one button down. So I'm going to just give here an href, and I'm just going to say images here, and then I'm going to give a class which will be having a button. So this is the button. Basically, I'm going to design this button in my CSS. So that's what. And then view work. Cool. So this is all about my, I'm going to also write here view work. This is gonna get printed in the a tag. So this is what I've done till now for my HTML page, which is just this starting. No images have been included till now, and nothing has been done till now. Let's save this. Let's check out first of all how it is appearing. So we know that there will be only three things. One is h1, h2, and one is link, right? So let's go ahead and check out. So if I go ahead and check out, you can see here there is a h1, there's an h2, and there is a link, right? Guys, if you guys are there, then please do let me know. Just say a hi, or you can ask me anything. It will be really good, because when I'm coding right now, you can understand the code. It's very easy, but it will be always helpful for me if I can have somebody to talk to, right? And with that talk, many other people will also get to understand what we are talking, right? So they will also gain some knowledge. See, if there is anybody who wants to talk or wants to ask something, go ahead and do it, like just like what Ankush did, right? So do like that. It'll be really helpful for other people as well. So this is what I've done till now for my div elements. Now what I'm going to do, so a is getting closed here, div is getting closed here. Now after this, I'm going to just put up here the landing image, because I want a image, the coffee image. If you remember, there was a coffee image. I'm going to just put up that here, right? And why I'm giving some ID here, because this will just have the image. So I'll use this ID in my CSS, and in the CSS, I'll be giving the background URL where I'll put that coffee image there. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. So fine, this is done. Now I have to create my images one by one, all the images I need to do. So let's start doing that. So here, first of all, div, I'm going to give ID image because it will have all the images now. Slowly, I'm going to put all the images. Let me just put here a double quote. And inside this, I'm going to give a header. We're also going to give an h2, and let's just say our work. Okay, so this is the banner, like a particular border. Just after my first heading, there will be a border which will have this our work thing, right? And after that, I'm going to start my images one by one. We are going to put up the images, and we are going to see what all images and how to give the images. So first image will come here as img src, and here I'm going to give the link. So you know what is the link? We have already used this many a times, and that is source.unsplash.com. okay, source.unsplash.com, which is the website. And after that, you have to give the size of your images, how much bigger your size you want. So I want 1600 into 900, that is the height and width. And then what particular image do you want? So let's say I want a nature image, that is the topic, right? And inside that, I want a sunset image. That's what I want right now. Okay, now if you have not understand what is this, so let me tell you about it. Let's save this, let's go back to my browser, and let's understand what is happening. So if I go back here, you can see here that this our work is coming. We'll try to create a banner here, right? And this banner will look like a black border after that, which this image will come. Okay, now this is a sunset image, right, which we are getting. Let me show you what is unsplash.com basically. If you go to unsplash.com, you have HD images here. Okay, all the HD images you can see here, and they are all portrait, landscape mode, everything. There are different sizes of it. Now if suppose if I'm going to nature, right, if I go to nature, you can find here that there are a lot of things which is related to nature, right? There are a lot of things here which is related to nature, right? Now some are mountains, some are sand dunes, some are maybe winter season, maybe spring season, maybe a waterfall, maybe a simple road. So here in the nature, you'll be able to filter many of these subtopics. Okay, so if I write mountain, I'll be getting all the mountains. If I write river, I'll be getting all the river images. So like that, you're going to get a lot of pictures. So the same link which I've given here, I'm going to just copy that link, right? And I'm going to put it inside my this thing. Okay, so let's have a look what is coming. So if you look here, I just clicked on it and I'm getting this image, right? Now I don't know from where this image came, right? I've just entered it. If I reload the page, it's gonna give me the same because I've just reloaded it one time. If I again paste it, another image will come, right? Again, if I do it, I'll get another image. So what is happening? There are a lot of images on sunset in the unsplash.com website, and it is just randomly taking one of the sunset image and giving it to me. Okay, so there's no code which is running in the backend. It's just the web page which is giving me these different kind of images. Again, if I reload this, I'm gonna get different kind of images. Okay, but here the images are really big. So using CSS, I need to adjust it. I need to do a lot of things here, and we'll be doing all of those soon, right? So let's come back to the code and let's complete this particular portion of this image. So after this, we need a caption because only the image will not look good. So we need to have a caption. So I'm going to write a class and I'm going to just give here a caption. Okay, now in this caption, we need to have some headings and some paragraph. So the heading, I'm just going to give you a sunset themed photos, and just random one paragraph we are going to give. Right, this paragraph I'm just going to write a random lorem ipsum code. Okay, cool. And that's it. That is my whole image div which I've created. I can do this 5 times because I need 5 images. So I can do this 5 times, and I'll just change the images link, right? I'm going to change the images link. Let's check out. So I have given 5 images and I'm going to just change it. So nature, and then I'm going to just write here, let's say mountain, right? Let's another one is waterfall, right? Let's say the another one is winter, and let's say the another one is spring. So like that, I have given all the 5 images to me, and also I'll just change these all things. So let's say I'm going to just change here mountain themed photos. Here I'm going to just write waterfall themed photos, and here I'm going to just write winter, and here I'm going to just write spring. So my HTML code is now finished. I have to just go ahead and do my CSS, because now I have to align these things properly, because right now if you see in the browser, these things are not aligned properly. I'm getting the images, I'm getting everything, I'm getting all my captions and all, but these all things are not looking very good. It's not aligned properly, right? So I have to do something to make it align, right? So how we are going to do that? Let's check out. Let's first close everything. I hope I'm closing everything, because this is the main page. I'm going to have a main tag here, and at the end I'm just going to close this main tag. Okay, now let's start the CSS. I don't think I've created any file here. Let's delete this, we don't need it, and let's name it as style.css. Also, we are going to link it, so let's close this. Let's go to title. Here I'm going to link it, and I'm going to just say here style.css. I'm writing the style.css for this one. Maybe I'll not completely write it, but the other programs, the other projects which I'll be doing, I'll not be using CSS, because CSS takes a whole lot of time. And yes, it gives the attractiveness, it gives the beauty to the web page, but it takes a lot of time to write here, right? And videos will be very short, and you will get bored once I write CSS. So very important things I'll just show you, and not important things I'll just going to skip it. Okay, so that you will have an assignment to do, you will have some CSS to do, and you can recomplete the web pages. Okay, so in some of the projects I'll not be doing CSS, I'll just show the JavaScript part, and I'll just show you that project is working. CSS, you have to do it. Okay, so let's understand how in this one the CSS will work. So let's start writing the code. Now for this, the CSS is not much bigger, so let's try to completely write this. Okay, so first of all, let's start with the body, and here I'm going to just give a font family, right? Let's say Roboto condensed, and I'm going to also give sans serif, right? Now we know that whenever you're creating a project, we give our margin and padding 0. So that's what we are going to give. And we're going to also give background, in which we are going to give a color. So let's say white. Background will be white. And we are going to give an height, which will be an auto. Okay. Let's go to my browser and let's check out what is happening. So font family I've given. Right now I've given just font family to the body, but I don't think it will change anything because I've not used it in any of the things. Okay, Roboto contents is happening, margin is 0, and background height is happening. Okay, everything is working right now. So let's get started with the H1. Let's do something to the H1. Let's do something to the H2, and let's do something to the images. And then we'll do the rest of the coding, right? So let's do some coding for H1, H2, and images. So for H1, we are just going to increase the font weight, going to make it much more bigger, and we are going to save font size. You already know what is REM, so you must be knowing how to use this. This is the virtual unit of taking the height. I'm going to increase it to uppercase, and I'm going to give a margin. I'll just give it as 0 here. right? Similarly, I'm going to do it for H2 also. I'm not going to show you the web page right now because everything is same for this one also. It's just that for this one, the font size will be a little bit less. So I'm just going to give here 1 to rem, and I'm going to do text transform. This one, I'll just keep it as capitalize. These all things I have explained you when I was explaining you the CSS, so there will be no problem in understanding this. The next one, I'm going to just create an image, and now this images, all the images I'm going to put up here it as block element. Why it is block element? Because all the images will be in a container. So I'm just doing that. And once it is block element, I'm just going to give a 100%. Okay, let's check out what is happening now. So if I go to the web page, have a look here. So now you can see H1, H2 and the images now it's working like a block. So all the images are now in a same dimension. Earlier it was not in the same dimension. Earlier all the images were having different size, but now it's in a block. So everything is proper. Now we need to just align these all things, and we need to align this caption also. So let's align those properly. Okay. So after image, let's go to the main tag. The main tag is basically the overall thing, right? From the starting till the end, whatever you're going to see in the web page, the whole thing is nothing but the main. So what we are going to do this in this main, if you've seen the first, when I showed you the portfolio project, sorry, not the portfolio, this one itself, the landing page, when I showed you, you must have seen the page is big, but the content is only in the middle. The left and the right, there's a white space which is left behind, right? So how can we do that? Because I want the main content to be only in the center, in the middle, and the left and right should be just empty, right? So how can we do that? Let's understand. Now here what I'm going to do, I'm going to give a max width of 900 pixels. That means the whole content should be only having the width of 900 pixels, not complete. Margin I'm going to give auto here, and I'm going to give a shadow effect. I'm going to give box shadow, and let's say I'm giving up the values 0 pixel, 40 pixel, RGBA values, which is 0, 0, 0, 0.1, which is the opacity. Alpha, you must be knowing what is alpha. And here box shadow on the other side, I'm going to give minus 30, 0 pixel, again 40 pixel, RGBA, and the same values will go here as well. So 0, 0, 0, 0.1. Okay. Fine. So this is the box shadow which I have given for two directions. This when we give something like this, you already know that these were only two directions. So this is for the right and the left. This is how it happens. Let's go to the web page first and let's check out what is happening. So the total width is 900 pixel. Let's check out what is happening. If I save this, you are getting only 900 pixel. And you can see that on the left and on the right, we have some spaces left, and we are getting a shadow effect also, right? Suppose if I increase this alpha value to 0.8, right? So have a look what's going to happen. You can see here on the right, you are getting a increased shadow space, right? Have a look at the code. I increase 0.8 here. So this is for the right one, correct? And it's for the left one. So I'm going to just increase here also. It's going to increase at that side as well. Cool. So this is what I'm getting right now. Okay. Still, this is not completed yet because these things are not looking fine. We know that we want it in a two different sections. We want the headings to be in this part, and we want one image, the coffee image, to be in this part. How can we do that? There's only one way how we can do that. That is display flex. So we have to use the flex part to make this come in a vertical manner. Half part here and half part in this part, correct? So let's try to do that. So the main method is already done. The main tag is already done. Let's come back here and let's try to code for the landing and the landing text. So these are my three IDs which I've given, which will tell me how to put up the display, like the flex box property, and how these things gonna turn on, because landing image is one of the image which is the coffee image, which needs to come on the right hand side and the text should come on the left hand side. That's what I want. So here I'm going to use landing and I'm just going to give a background color to it, which will be white. Okay. Next, I'm going to go ahead and do for landing dash text. And here what I'm going to do, I'm going to use display flex. I'm using a flex property. If flex property is used, that means I can use the shorthand property of flex where I can give all the values. I've already explained you this. So all the values I'll give here for my flex box. If you do not know what is happening here, what is 0, what is 1, what is 40 VW, go ahead and check out Flexbox sessions. You must be understanding what is this flex shorthand property, what content is it having. So I'm going to give the height as well. I'm going to just give 50 viewport height. Viewport height and viewport width, you must be knowing, it depends on how much is the size of the browser. Depending on that, it gives you the alignment. Justify content center, align item center. You must be knowing what is the difference between justify content and align items if you know about Flexbox. Text align, I'm going to also give center. This is for the text. Align items is for the items. Justify content is also for the row items. Text align is for the text. Going to give a padding right because we have only the right and the left. So I'm going to give padding left 1 rem. Similarly, I'm going to give padding right 1 rem. From both the sides, we want equal spaces. That's what I've given. Let's check out how this is working. So if I go back to the web page, I've only given things to landing and landing text, which is this area, right? So let's check out what is happening. So what's happening? This is the landing. Okay, our work is different thing. Our work was down. If you check out here, our work was written here. So this is not coming inside your landing and all. Landing and all is only about this part, correct? So that's what I'm getting here. I'm getting this particular thing. It has been displayed as flex. I've given some width and all. So it's having some spaces and all. Okay. Now what we have to do, we have to bring this particular three things on the left hand side and we have to bring the image on the right hand side. So how to do that? Let's check out. Okay, now that we have reached till here, one more thing to our H2, which is inside this, right? Landing text H2, I'm going to just give here a color. So let's say a gray color I'm going to give here, right? H2 will be presented in a gray color. That's what I've done. Now the part comes where I have to put up the landing image, because till now I've not given the coffee image here, right? So I'm going to give the URL here, but I don't have any image in my folder, right? So let's try to give the image here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the desktop again and I'm going to copy that image from my folder. So okay, let's put it up in, where is this code projects? Okay, yeah, so you can see here one background image I have put up here from my desktop and I'm just going to use that. So this background.jpg, I'm going to use the same thing here. I'm going to use background and I'm just going to give URL. I'm just going to use background.jpg. Okay, cool. 1 second, this will be inside double quotes. Right now, next, I'm going to, obviously, whenever you are using a background image, whenever you are using an image in the background, you use some more properties. I've already also told you this, like background size, background position, all of those things you need to use to position that image in a perfect manner. So I'm going to just use here center. Why I'm using center? I want it in the right hand side, right? But why I'm using center? Because I've already used display flex. So flex will arrange it properly, right, left, he will maintain. I don't have to write a extra code here. I don't have to mention that whether it should be on the left or right. I just want to put it in the normal position, which is center. Display flex will take a understanding that how it's gonna place it. I don't want to repeat it, so no repeat. And I'm going to give a height. So let's say I'm going to give here as 50 VH. And also I'm going to give a flex. So let's say I'm going to give a flex. That is your, again, the shorten property. Now understand, in this one, I've given 0140 viewport width, right? And here I've given 0160 viewport width. So can you understand what is happening? This totally what is making 60 and 40, 100, right? So the total 100 viewport width is getting completed because of these two things, landing text and landing image, correct? So landing text is my text part and the image part is my image part. So display flex will understand that, okay, in the 40 viewport width, I have to just put up the text part, and on the rest of the part, I have to put up the image. That's how the flex will work here. And I'm going to also give here a margin, which will be 0. Fine. So right now your image will not come in the place. Let's check out what is happening. So here you can see that I'm getting this 40 viewport width of flexbox on the text, and this is the 60 viewport width of the image, the background image. Okay, but still it's not coming in the way how I want it. It's coming in the horizontal way. I want it in the vertical way, so that this comes here and this part comes here, right? But it's not coming in that way. So how do we do that? Because still something is left from the flex property, and if you remember what is it, you must be knowing about it, right? Okay, so let's start writing things. Okay, so here I'm going to start writing for my button. Okay, because we have some buttons. We have seen that we have .btn here, right? So let's start creating the button effect. So I'm going to just write here button, and I'm just going to say here padding, let's say 0.5 rem and 2 rem. So you know how it is, top bottom and left right. That's how it is. Border, I'm just going to give here 1 pixel. Here border radius will also come, because you know that we are providing a circular button, not just a normal button. So I'm going to give here a solid. Next I'm going to give a display, because it's an inline block. It's a button, so obviously it will be a block, but also an inline. I'm just giving an inline block. Margin I'm going to give here 2 rem and with 0 values. Next I'm going to give a border radius. Border radius I'm just going to give here 50 pixel. And next I'm going to give a text decoration, which will be none, so that no decorations will be there. And also I'm just going to write a color, which will be a black color. And the next thing which I'm going to give a transition. So in the transition, I want the background, right, for 500 milliseconds, it should be ease. Okay, so if I go back to my browser, button is this part, right? So right now there's nothing happening because I'm hovering into it. I think the border what I've given is white color. That means this whole portion will be in black color, right? Right now it is not showing me the color because already the background is white. That's why it is not showing me anything, but we'll try to see how it happens in the next code. So let's go back to the code and let's try to give some hover effect into it. So here I'm going to give btn, going to give here a hover effect, and let's say I'm just giving here a background which is white itself. Cool. Now I'm going to go to the header. To the header part we are going to do something. So wait a second. Yeah, so this is the header, this is the our work part, and that's what we are going to do now. So in the header we are going to place a padding of 1.5 rem, and we are going to also say text align center, so it comes in the center. Whatever text I've written, that view work thing will come inside in the center. and then background black, and then color I'm going to give here as white. Background black I've given now, so that's when this particular border will be visible. Okay, so that's what I've given. Let's save this. Let's go back to my browser. Let's check out. So here you can see view work, and this is the our work. So view work was the button, and this was my header. So in the header I'm getting a background color black, and I'm getting the text color white. Okay, and here we'll not do try to do we'll try to do some more things here. Let's try to see what next things we are going to do in the header. So header h2, as you can see, the css is taking a lot of time to write, right? That is why in the next projects I'm not going to write any css. I'm just going to explain you the working of the pages, how your javascript is working in those pages. That's it. Okay, I'm giving here border right and border left, so that there'll be two dotted borders on the left and the right side. That's it I'm doing. Okay, and display I'm going to do, which will be inline block again, because it's a our work block. Padding right I'm going to give, which will be 1 rem, and padding left, because only left and right is something where we have some spaces, otherwise top and left there is no space. So h2 is done. Let's go back to the browser and let's check out what is happening here. So you'll get a dotted border on the left and top. That's what is going to happen. So you're getting a dotted border here, right? So let's go back again and let's try to complete this code now. So we have the caption thing left. So let's try to write the caption part. So here I'm just going to do a caption. That is the class which we have written. I'm going to give a padding, let's say 0.8 rem. And I'm going to give a text align. Let's say I'm going to give it here as center. Okay, this is for the captions. The caption is already, you can see it's here. That's what is my caption. Okay, there's no footer and all, so we're not going to try to do any code for the footer. Let me just show you how caption occurred here. So it's been the center and it is having some written code. So mostly everything is done now. It's just that the first part is not done. It should be in the vertical. We'll try to see how to do that. Okay, now that will only happen when you have when you are writing for the media query, right? So what I will do here is we are going to write a media query. Okay, and we are going to give a minimum and a maximum width here. So let's say the minimum width which I'm giving here is 500 pixel, right? And to this I'm going to put up hash, let's say landing, and I'm going to just say here display flex. Okay, and I'm going to give a height, and I'm going to give a height as 100%. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up hash landing text, and this one I'm going to just give height 100 vh. This is the viewport height for the landing text. Okay, so when particular width of your web page is reaching 500 pixel, these all changes is gonna happen to your web page. Okay, so again, landing image height will also change. I'm just going to change it to 100 viewport height. Cool. So let's go back. Let's save this, and now you can see what is happening. So you can see it came here, right? Now if I also increase my size, you can see here that the width which I've given, right, the width is only 900 pixel, correct? If you do remember, this is only 900 pixel, and that's why even if you resize your browser, nothing is gonna change, because your particular width is itself 900 pixel, and these all are coming inside 500. This is inside 500, this is inside 500. So there's no change happening. It's just that the image is not completely coming. So we are going to do that as well. And let's try to just put up the total image now. So here landing image 100 vh. Okay, let's try to give one more media, and here I'm going to just give minimum width of 700 pixel because the image is little bit bigger. I'm going to just give this, and here I'm going to give a for the button. So for the button I'm going to give a padding. Let's say the padding I'm going to give here is 1 rem and 3 rem. So this is for the top and the left. Let's go back. Let's see the browser. Let's check it out. So here I'm getting this view work button, right? But why this particular thing is not coming? All these things are fine, right? We are getting all these spaces and all. Caption and all everything is correct. It's just that the image is not coming completely. So let's check out what is wrong. If you look at the image is this much bigger and it should take the whole space, but the space is not coming, right? I think my web browser is zoomed enough. So let's check out whether it is zoomed. Okay, it's fine. Let's go back. Let's check out where we have done some mistake or what is happening here. Full image should be coming. Let's check out the landing image code. I hope it is landing image only. Here also I've used landing image. Yes, this is the mistake. So height is not known to 100 VH. That's why it is not happening. There was a complete mistake from my side. Let's go and check out now, and here it is. Okay, so we are getting the total height of 100 viewport height, and that's why we are getting this particular part. So this is how you create this. Now if I reload the page, obviously my all the images will change. Whatever things we have given, winter season, spring season, waterfall, mountain, or whatever things we have given, everything is gonna come here. Fine. So this is the very basic photography landing page. Now quickly let's move to our next part, our next project, and let's try to understand how to do that. Okay, so this one we'll try to see a different kind of coding, right? We'll try to see a counter. Okay, we'll try to see a counter, and we are going to try to create that. So let's try to create a counter. We are not going to do any CSS of this. You are going to do the CSS of this. I'm just going to show you how you can put up an JS code for this, okay? Because JS code is much more important for this particular project. So script.js, let's go back to my index.html. Let's put up the thing, and here I'm going to just write a counter. Fine. And fine. So let's start with the counter and let's try to understand this. First of all, let's open it with live server and let's try to see whether the counter page is running or not. So here, as you can see, my counter page is running, right? And let's try to start the code right now. Okay. Now for the counter, obviously we know that we need 3 to 4 things, right? We need one counter number, we need increase button, we need decrease button, and we need the reset button, right? So we need three buttons and one value. So those all things will be coming inside my HTML. So let's create that right now. Let me just include the script part so that do not forget to include this later on. Right, and then I'm going to start my body. In the body, again I'm going to just put up here the main, right? And in the main I'm going to create a div. Let's say a class name is container. Always you will be having a div and which will be a container, because inside the container you are doing a lot of things. So that's what I've written. And also I'll be just mentioning here h1, which will say counter. Okay, this is the heading which is just saying counter. Now I'm using an inline element which is span, and I'm giving an ID to it. Let's say I'm just giving a ID of value, and I'm going to put up here a value which is 0. Why I've used here inline element? Because I wanted it to be just below the counter, right? And if I create another div element, it will create another container, which I did not wanted. I wanted it to be inside the div container itself, which I've already created. That's why I've created a inline. So inside the bigger div, that means inside the block element, we have an inline element which is span. Now I'm going to create another div element in which we'll have the buttons. Okay, so I'm going to just name this as button container because it will contain all the buttons, and inside this I'm going to create all my buttons. So let's give a tab here, and here I'm going to just create all my buttons. So let's give a class. I think I've not closed the div, that's why it is giving me an anything wrong. Okay, I have not completed this. So class I'm going to just give here as, let's say the first one as decrease, right? I'm going to do CSS, that's why I'm putting up here as btn decrease. And I also tell you why I have written here btn decrease and why I've not included any dash here. I'll tell you about that, why I've not done that. Okay. Next one I'm going to create in the same way. So I'm going to just copy this and I'm going to just write here btn reset, because this will be my reset button. So I'm going to just make this also as reset, right? And one more thing I have to do, I have to create one more button which will be for my increase. I'm going to just write here increase, and here I'm going to write increase. Okay. Hi Vivek. Sir, can you explain the media query part once again? I could not understand it well. I am asking for this doubt late because of 5 minutes late. No worry, Vivek. I'll go back to the project. Okay. First, let's complete this, right? And because it will not take time, this counter project will not take time. Then we'll go back to that. Okay. And then I'll try to understand that. I'll try to make you understand that media query part. Okay. Here I've created these buttons, right? So what I'm going to do here is, let's save this. So I have not written any CSS, I have not written any JavaScript. That means only my content will be coming in my file, right? So let's have a look. So here you can see what's happening. It is only giving me the content. I'm getting the h1, I'm getting the number, that value, and I'm getting the decrease, reset, and increase button. So CSS I'm not doing here because it's your task. You do it. Whatever transition animation you want to use, you can use it. If you want to use media query, you can use that as well. But right now here what I'm doing, I'm just putting up the JavaScript part. So let's understand how JavaScript is gonna work. Now first of all, please understand that decrease, reset, and increase, all three of them are buttons. So if I click on increase, it's gonna increase the number here. If I click on decrease, it's gonna decrease the number here. And if I click on reset, it's gonna come back to 0, right? That means all these three buttons, whenever it is working, it's working for only this particular value. The work of the button is to change the value of this particular value, right? That is why it is used. So keeping that in mind, let's understand how do we write the code for this. Okay. Now, if we talk about first count, there will be count variable, right? For the first count, the count will be 0. Obviously, the first count will be 0, right? And now we need to select the values and the buttons. Values, how we'll select? That means whenever we click on increase button, the value changes to 1, 2, 3, 4. And whenever we click on decrease, the value changes to -1, -2, -3. It comes down, right? Same thing happens to reset. If I click on reset, the value changes to 0, correct? So don't you think for the values, for collecting all the values, there should be variable values, right? So can't we just create a values, right? So I'm just creating a variable which will contain all the updated values. Like even if it is increasing, it will come here. Even if it is decreasing, it will come here, right? Now understand, I am saying that all the changing values will come here, right? That means even if I increase the value is gonna come here in this value. Even if I decrease the value is gonna come here in this value. Even if I click on reset, the reset value of 0 will also come to this value, right? So don't you think that all these three buttons, whatever result will come, will get stored in this value? So how can we do that? So I have explained you one of the DOM element of HTML DOM. Yesterday, I think I took this session and I explained you about this, that you can use DOM to uh, to do a query selector, right? So query selector, what will do, it will take all the values from every button, right? So what I'm going to do here is okay, everybody, just do let me know if I'm live, if I'm back. I hope I'm back. Okay, perfect. So I think I'm back. Just let me just check it once again. Let me just clarify if everything is fine right now. I think just my internet got lost, but I think I'm back. I hope everything is working. Just checking it up. 1 second, guys. Okay, great. Perfect. Once again, just let me figure out where I left it and where am I. You can see my video. Okay. So I was trying to explain. Yeah. Thanks, Vivek. Yeah, thank God I'm back. Okay, perfect. Let's get started. So what I was doing here is I was just trying to explain you the value, right? So this value is gonna change inside the ID value, and that's why we have written it inside here, the ID value. Also, we need one particular variable for buttons. Whatever buttons output will come, we need this to getting stored somewhere, right? So we are using here query selector all, okay? And what we should do here, we should use some of the name here, right? Either class or either ID. So what is common in all these three buttons? What is so common? Class is not common. As we can see, we have a class button, decrease button, reset button, increase, right? So class is not common here, but do you think class is not common? See, we have given two class names here. One is BTN, one is decrease. There's no dash here. If I'm writing dash here, then it's one class name. But right now we have given two different class names to this particular line. One is the BTN class name and one is the decrease class name. So BTN is something which is common in all three, right? So we can give here the BTN class. So you can use here BTN, right? We can use here BTN. Okay, so all the BTN things will come up here. Now let's do something. Let's try to do console.log and let's try to do BTNs. Okay, let's try to see what happens in my code. So I'm going to just save this. I'm going to just save this as well, and let's try to see the output of this one. So let me just show it to here, and because it's console.log, so let's go directly to the console and have a look here. There is a node list created. Do you remember node? Yesterday in the session I did tell you what is a node, right? So in the node list you're getting three things: 0, 1 and 2. In the 0 it's button dot decrease, in the 1 it's button dot reset, in the second it's button dot increase. So all three buttons are coming up. That means my variables are working. Okay, now let's come back to the code. So we do not want to print anything. We do not want to print any particular thing right now, but using these buttons, what we can do, we can fetch all my user clicks, right? So how we can do that? So what we can do is we can use the loop, right? So we can run a loop around my all the buttons. So I'll use here for each, and I'll just use here function, and let's say I'm just taking one particular parameter here, and here I'm just going to write console.log item. Okay, so I'm using these BTNs, that means all three buttons, which will loop in all the items and it will just print all the items, right? Let's save this. Let's check out my web page, what is happening. So if I go back, you can see here in the console.log, the whole thing is coming up here. How it is coming? How this thing or whole thing is coming up here? Because I've used the for each loop, which is calling the item. This is the item. The whole item is getting called here. So all three buttons are getting displayed in my console.log. So what is the meaning of this? The meaning of this is that now these three buttons are now in the user's hand. So in the user's hand, these three buttons are there. If the user clicks on decrease, something is going to happen, but the logic we have not written till now. So only thing which is left now is the logic to write. So we need to write the logic for decrease, we need to write the logic for reset, and we need to write the logic for increase, right? I hope till here there's no doubt. I hope till here there is no doubt. So let's complete this code now. Okay. Now understand. What we have done till now is we have taken a variable which will contain all the values, updated values, or whatever values will come inside the span. Those all values will come inside this variable. BTNs will have all these three buttons which we are putting up, right? Now, what we need to do is all these three buttons will have some event, right? Because all these three buttons are getting clicked, and whenever a click event is there, we need to create a add event listener, right? So we're going to create an add event listener for all these three things. So how we are going to do that? We are going to just write here btn dot add event listener. Okay. Which will be a click because that's the event which we are doing. And I'm going to create a function here. To this function, I'm going to just pass a message and I'm going to just print up something here. So let's say console.log. Okay. And I'm just going to print e dot current target. Current target means right now which button has been clicked. That particular button information will be given to this. Okay. Right now which button has been clicked, that particular thing will be given to me. Here I'll just convert this. This should not be item. I'll just change it to button. It's just a normal name, right? So you can name it anything. So all the buttons will have an add event listener. Whichever button you will click, that will have the current target and will print the message. Do you remember in exception handling, we are having one e message, right? So it's just going to show you that this button is clicked. Let's save this. Let's go to the browser. Let's check out what is happening. So if I click on decrease, it is saying that decrease button is clicked. If I click on reset, reset button is clicked. If I click on reset again, reset button is clicked. If I click on increase, increase button is clicked. So whatever button you are clicking, that is the current target, and that's what is showing me in the console that you are clicking this button. So now my JavaScript knows that, okay, user is clicking this button right now. Okay. So now that you have understood these all things, I don't want to print this, but what I want to do here is I want to give it to another variable so that this thing can be stored, because what I will do with watching it in the console, I don't want to watch it in the console. I am just printing here console to show you that how it is working. Right now, I'm going to create another variable to this. I'm going to put up here const styles, and in that I'm going to write here create target. Sorry, current target. And to the current target, I'm going to now call the whole list, the whole class list. Okay. Now the whole class list, what does it mean? That means the whole information about that event or about that button will come inside the styles. Okay. Now the JavaScript understands that if user is clicking on decrease, then decrease button is clicked. If the user is clicking on increase, the increase button is clicked. Now JavaScript is having that knowledge, right? So now it will be really easy for me to write the code, because what I can do here is I can just write here if from the styles decrease button is clicked, right? From the styles, if the decrease button is clicked, what's gonna happen? It's gonna do count minus minus. Whatever is the count, whatever value is the count, it's gonna do count minus minus. Again, if the styles dot contains is increase, then what's gonna happen? Sorry, I think I did some mistake. Yeah, then what's gonna happen? Count plus plus, because it's gonna increase. And the last part is else. In else, what's going to happen? Count will become 0. This is the logic for your all the counts. Okay, let's save this. Let's check out what is happening. So if I go here, if I decrease, now right now nothing's happening to the 0 because still I have not written the code for the value. That's why it's not happening. But if I print the count value in the console, you will be able to see the count value is increasing or decreasing or getting reset. Okay, so you can see that. If you want to check out, you can just write here console.count. You will be able to see everything. Right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down the values. So I'm going to just write count. If count is greater than 0, then change the value, the style of that color to green. You know this, we have understood this in HTML DOM that you can use JavaScript to change the CSS properties as well. If the count is less than 0, then value dot style dot color will be having a color of red, and otherwise value dot style dot color will be count. Not normally what should be the color? Black, right? So that let's not give the color itself because it will be black. If I give white, then it won't be visible because background is white itself. So here what I'm going to write here is text content. The text content will have the count value. Okay, so now let's try to execute this and let's try to see what is happening. What is the meaning of this? The meaning of this is value dot. I have not written else here. Okay, I have not written else. I've written just directly value dot text content. So value dot text content means value is where? Value is here. Value dot text content will change to count, whatever the count value will be. So if I go back now and if I check out this decrease, okay, there's something wrong. Increase is working, reset is working, decrease is not working. There should be some mistake. There should be some decrease or the spelling of decrease. So only decrease is not working, right? Count minus minus. Count is greater than 0 in green color. Count is less than 0 in red color. Let's check out whether the color is happening or not. So if I go back, okay, color is green. It's not going down. So let's put up here one more code. So here I'm going to put up if the count is equal to 0, then something is gonna happen. So I'm going to put up here a value. I'm going to put up here a color, and let's say the color is this color. Let's check out now. If I decrease, increase is working, reset is working, decrease is still not working, decrease is not working. So there's something wrong in the code, right? So let's check out what is wrong. Let count equal to 0, count const value, const btns, decrease spelling somewhere is wrong. Let's check out where is it wrong. E current target class list. If it styles as content decrease, DECREASE. Count minus minus. If styles dot contains decrease, then decrease the count. Else if styles dot contains increase, then increase the count. Let's check out now. Okay, so now it is working. So I've just written if and if condition in the both cases. Else was not written there. Any one of the things will happen, right? You can't do both the things together. So either you will increase or either you will decrease. So also if you can't see the output, then let me just increase the size of it. So here you can see increase is having all green. After 0, reset will have 0 and decrease will have all red color, right? Reset will become again 0. So this is how your counter will work. I hope you understood how this also works, right? Now let's jump back to the code, and please have a look in this code and let me know if you have any doubts, because this is the part we'll have confusion. Otherwise after this everything is easy. So if you have any confusion here, then do let me know. Otherwise I'll move to the photography landing page and I'll try to explain, Vivek, how that media code is written. Okay, so please do let me know if you have any doubts in here in this part. Otherwise we'll move to the next project. Okay, if no doubts, then let's go ahead and let's try the photography landing page wala index.html and style.css. Okay, so let's close this. Now have a look. First of all, let me just run this. So here was my photography landing page, right? And now if you look here in the style.css, what I've done here, see, I've already given that my main page, the main code, wherever I'm writing the main code, the maximum width is 900 pixel, right? Now your particular browser size will not be 900. It can be anything. It can be always more than, it will be more than 1000 pixel, right? But the main page, our main body page, the maximum width which I have given is 900 pixel. That's it, right? So that's why you are getting these spaces on the left, on the right corner, because this is what is 900 pixel. This is what is 900 pixel from where my content is getting come here, right? Now if I go back to the code and if I scroll down to the media query part, you can see here minimum width 500 pixel, right? Now my browser, which you can see here in the browser right now, whatever screen I have made here, it's inside 500 pixel. Okay, why is it inside 500 pixel? Because I have made it 70%, right? So if I make it full, it looks something like this. Okay, so you can see what is 900 pixel right now. You won't be able to see the left hand side of the page, but do not worry, it's fine. If you can't see the left hand side of the page, but look at the right hand side of the page, you can see how much space is there in that, right? How much space is there in that, correct? So don't you think in this case, this is already inside 500 pixel? Not the browser, but my page, only this page. This page is already inside 500 pixel, right? So right now this is already inside 500 pixel, and that's why in the code when I wrote minimum width 500 pixel, it is applying all these things. So what is happening inside this? First let's see. Landing I've written display flex and I've written height 100%. So it will take the whole 100% of that flex, whatever container you have created, it will take, the landing thing will take the 100% of it, right? So the whole vertical thing will be taken by the text. That's why this text is taking the whole 100%. Can you see? The whole 100% of the height. This whole 100% of the height is taken by the text. That's what I've written in the code. I've written landing display flex height 100%. Total height is taken by the text content. Now is landing text 100 VH. Again, landing text is also the same thing. If you look here, landing text is the same. Inside the landing we have landing text, right? So it's the same thing, 100 VH. Again, landing image I have again given height 100 VH. So if 100 VH is left this side for the text, other 100 VH is already there, the space is left there. That's what we are doing for the image. So for the image, this is what is 100 VH. And do you remember we have given somewhere viewport width, right? We have given somewhere viewport width, which was this for 40% and this was 60. So this is 40 viewport width. Can you see the width? It's 40 and it's 60. You can observe the difference itself, right? This is much more bigger than this one. That's what is viewport width and viewport height. Now, based on changing your web size browser, that width will also change, right? So that's why I've written that particular media query there, so that your, in min width, this is how the flexbox works. If I want to bring it to 900, let's say I'm putting it up as 900, nothing is gonna change. Have a look. Nothing is gonna change. It will be like that itself. Okay. So let's come back to the code. Now in this one, minimum width 700 pixel, I'm just giving a button to a padding so that the button is visible. So even if you don't write this, there's no problem. That's fine. It's just for the button to give a padding whenever you increase your width at that time. Okay. So this was the doubt. I hope it is clear. Now let's move ahead and let's try to code for our next project, which is validation. Right? So let's understand how this validation works, and then we are going to move to the next projects as well. So in the form validation, we will create some of the JavaScript code as well. So let's create validation and let's create an index.html first of all. And also let's create a script.js. Right? Now in the index.html, I'm just going to write a simple thing, and here I'm just going to write a form validation. Okay, and let's save this. Let's bring it up in the browser so that we can check out if it is working or not. So let me show you the browser, and you can see form validation is working. Let's go back, and here what we are going to do is we are going to also put down here a script, and in the script I'm just going to give here src. I'm going to just say script.js. Okay, and then we are going to start writing our body. So as you know, in the body we'll have some normal form tags and all, right? So in the body there'll be nothing much. We'll just have all the form elements. So let's write that one by one. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to just create a form, right? And inside this form we are going to put down some h1 and all. So I'm just going to put here h1, and I'm just going to put here as user registration. Here I can give some of the elements. Let's say I'm just going to give here align center. This is coming in red because I've not written the I'm not using the css property. So it is just trying to say me that, hey, please use the css property instead of just using html attribute. So it's totally fine, right? You can use that as well. So I'm just using a user registration here, and also in the form I'll be using some of the things. So first thing is the name. I'm going to give here my form because this is what I'm going to use in my JavaScript. I'm going to also use on submit because on submit what's going to do, it's going to return my or call my function which I'll be writing inside the JavaScript part. So inside the JavaScript part, I'll be creating one validate function which will return this particular thing whenever you'll click on submit. So whenever you click on submit, this validate function will get called. So in the JavaScript part, in the validate function, I'll write some codes which will check out whether your input is correct or not. That's what it's gonna do. Okay. So this h1 is done. So after this h1, we are going to create a table. This table, inside this table, we are going to put up all our elements. So one by one, I'm going to put up all the elements. Let's see, in the TD, I'm going to just create an name, and here I'm going to just create a TD. I'm going to just say input. Let's say type. Let's say text, and that's a whole bar which you will get here, right? And like that, I'm going to also do the same thing for my other codes as well. So this was for name. So next I'm going to do it for email. And here I'm going to just write input type text itself. For the email, I'm going to just type here, let's say phone number. And the next one I'm just going to say here as subject. Now subject is a select and an option tag, so I can't use here input, right? I have to use here select and an option. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to write here select. In the select tag, I have to put down the option values. So I'm going to put here the option, and to the option I'm going to give a value. To this value, the first value will be, I'm just keeping it as 0, to which I'm going to just here give a select. This will be selected in the beginning, so I'm just going to give here selected. Fine. Now in the next part, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create all my option values. So I'm going to create here option, and let's say value, let's say 1, and to this value I'm going to put up here it as HTML. Option is closed. So meanwhile I've just changed this. Okay, I'll just change these numbers as well, and these values as well. Okay, so these are some of the values which I've given, and now we can close the select. We can close the TD, TR, table, everything. And at last, after the table, I'm going to just put up here a paragraph. I'm going to just put up the ID, where I'm going to just put up demo, because here itself the error will come if you're submitting and something is not there, so it will give an error. This is where the error will come. So I'm going to just put up here some styles, because a color should be there for this. A color will be red color, because obviously it should give the error in the center. And I'm going to just close this. The next thing, I'm going to create a div, because for my button also I have to do something. So I'm just going to give a text button. Let's say text align, let's say center, and to this center I'm going to also provide an input element which will have type equal to submit. So this will create my submit button, for which I'll have a value. The value I'll just write it as submit itself, so that it shows submit in the button area. Let's check out if everything is fine. Till here everything is fine, but still we need to give all these different functions and all, if any function has been used in the JavaScript. If not, then we will not give it. But right now let's check out what is happening in my browser. So if I go ahead and check out, you can see here these things are not in the center, but these two things are in the center. So let's bring this back in the center. How we are going to do that? We are just going to put down some codes in our all TD alignments, right? So in the table, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just write here align center, so that everything comes in place. And also I'm going to give here cell spacing. So cell spacing I'm going to just give here as 3, and cell padding I'm going to give here as 3, and border going to give it as 3, right? So for TD I'm going to give here align as a right. Similarly, I'm going to do this, give this align to all of them. Let's save this. Let's check out what is happening. So here you can see that we have got the border, we have got all these alignments, and everything was in these things is on the right, and these things are by default, which is on the left. So even if you write something, it's gonna write on from the left. Okay, because those are by default. These are we have given as right. So everything is done. Here we have a paragraph which is not visible right now because I've not printed anything here, but using a JavaScript function I'm going to put down what should be there. So right now if I write anything, it's not going to do anything. It's gonna submit, right? So because I've not written anything in my JavaScript part. So let's go back to the code, and now we are going to start writing our JavaScript part. So in JavaScript we need to make sure that all our elements is getting checked, right? So if I have name, so name is getting checked. If I have an email, the email is getting checked. So let's start up our script.js. So here, what I'm going to do, first of all, the function which we have written, right? We have written the function which is function validate. In this function, we will be putting up everything, correct? So in this function, let's take up a text variable. And the first thing which we need to check is our name value. So I'm going to put down here a document, that is my HTML document. From my HTML document, what is the form name? The name was my form. If you look here in the form, I've given a name which is my form. From my form, what is the first thing which I'm fetching? The name. From the name, what I'm fetching? The value. If the value is equal to empty, if it is empty, then what's going to happen? We are getting a text. We are getting a text message which will be name cannot be empty. This is the message which will get printed, but I have not printed this. So now let's print it. Document dot get element by ID, and the ID is demo, which is down below before submit. That's where I'm going to print this message. So inner HTML equal to text. Fine. This is what we are going to do. Next, I'm also going to document dot my form, which is the form. I'm going to do name, and I'm going to focus on that particular text box. So in that text box is gonna get a focus. I'm going to return here false. Fine. This is the first thing which you are doing. This is the first statement which you're writing. Similarly, I'm going to do this for next element. So I'm going to put this up for this was for name. I'm going to change it for email. So anywhere else? Yep. Here. Just changing it to email. I can just write here email cannot be empty. Again, understand this is the only error when your email is empty. Then it's gonna give me this particular error. Okay. Otherwise, it's not gonna give me anything. So right now I'm just checking up with my name and my email. If my name and email is empty, it's gonna give me these messages. So let's check it out. If I'm not given anything, submit. Right now I'm not presenting it. I have not written, I have not printed it. So it's not working here, as you can see, right? Nothing is happening right now. Let's try to go back. Let's try to complete the code and then we'll come back. Okay. So here what I'm going to do, as you already know that email is having some more things, right? We have a lot of things in email. If the @ symbol is not there, then also it's gonna check. If the dot symbol is not there, then it's gonna check, right? So I'm going to write here email. I'm going to take a different variable, email ID. I'm going to just say document dot my form email dot value. I hope I've given the name here. Okay, I have not given the names. I have to give here names because that is the name which I'm using in the JavaScript, right? So I have to give here names. The last one I'm going to use here name subject. Okay. This is the name which I'm using here, this email, all right? That is the name which I'm using here as email. Once again, let's just save this and let's try it out. You can see here, you're getting that. Earlier, the name was not there. It was not giving me the answer. If I write the name and if I just click on submit email, now it is giving. Again, it's not giving me any error right now because for the email, I've not written for the @ symbol and for the dot symbol. So that's why this is not giving me any error right now. We will write the code right now for that, and then it's gonna give me the error for @ symbol and for the dot symbol as well. So let's see how we can write a code for that. Please, if you have any doubts, please do let me know. Then it will be really good. Okay. So this is my form.email.value, and here what we are going to do is going down and we are going to put down @ post @ position, right? this is one of the variable which I've taken, and I'm going to just put down here email ID dot index of at. Okay, so this is for your at the rate position, and one more we'll take, which is dot position. Here I'm going to just put up email ID dot, I'm going to put up here last index of, so I think it will be capital, last index of, and I'm going to put down here as dot. Now understand why I've written here index of and why here last index of. Index of means at the beginning whenever the at symbol is coming up, right? At the beginning, whenever the at symbol is shown, it should, the position of that should get stored in at POSN. Okay. Last index of means from the last where you have used dot, because many a times in our email ID we use dot, right? Like Ritwik dot 7326 at the rate gmail.com. So it will figure out, if you use here index of, it's going to figure out the first dot, which is Ritwik dot. We don't want to figure out that one. We want to figure out the last index of. From the last, where have you used this dot? Because in the last only you will be using dot in dot com, right? That's why we are using a last index of. Now what we are going to do, we are going to check out that whether you have used these symbols at which place and how many times. So at POSN is less than 1, or means either of the conditions should be true, right? Dot POSN, that's your dot position, minus at position is less than 2. What is the meaning of this? So the meaning of this is very, very simple. You can see here, there is an either condition. At position is less than 1, 0, 1, right? Index of, so you'll get a position number. That means if I'm writing here, let's say, if I'm writing here Ritwik at the rate gmail.com, right? So what's going to happen? At the rate symbol, where is it placed? Where is it kept here? So you have to count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So at 6th position, I got 8 at the rate, right? So this will have the position 6. So 6 is less than 1. No, it is not true. So it's going to have false. And then it's going to check out like this. So this is one of the condition. Again, dot position, where is it? From the ending, where is it? Right? So that position it will take, and it will find out the condition as well. And if this is true, right? Because you can see the condition, what I'm saying is less than 1. Nobody can put the at the rate symbol at the beginning, right? Nobody can put the at the rate symbol in the beginning. No email ID will have the at the rate symbol in the beginning. So at this time, it's gonna print is, please enter a valid email ID. Because browser will understand that it's not a valid email ID because your at symbol is getting started in the beginning itself. Then we are going to print it up in the demo part. So document get in by ID demo dot inner HTML equal to text. This is the third case in which it's gonna print. Another document dot, I'm going to also change it in my form, just the way I've did it in my email and all. It's gonna focus, right? So that's what I'm doing. Email dot focus. Okay, and also it's gonna return false. So I'm gonna just write here return false. Fine. This was the third thing which should happen. Now the next thing is for the phone number. We are going to do the same thing. We are going to put down the same code for phone number itself. So have a look what is there. So if you look here, we have if document.myForm phone number phone value is empty or is not a number. So if you're writing a text or you're not writing anything. If you're not writing anything or you're writing a text, in both the cases, what's going to happen? It's going to please enter a valid digital phone number. Okay. One more thing, with, or we are also writing document.myform.phone.value_length, which is not equal to 10. So if the value is not equal to 10, if it is less than 10, or if it is increased, if it is more than 10, then also you're going to get the same result, which is please enter a valid 10-digit phone number. That's going to get printed in the demo, and also it's going to get focus, and it is returning false. So same things are there. The next thing is for the select, for the select option. So for that, what you have to do, we have to do the same part. So if from the myForm.subject value, if you are not putting up anything, if you're not selecting anything, if you're not selecting 1, 2, or 3, or 4, or 5, if you're selecting only 0, that means you have not selected anything, right? In that case, it's gonna say please provide your area of expertise. Okay, it's gonna get printed in the demo, it's gonna say return false. Otherwise, if these things are not happening, if everything is correct, then it's gonna return true. Okay, why is it returning true? Because you can see from the starting itself, it's a if function which is getting started, right? So if these all things are not coming up, if everything is fine, if all the conditions of this if is fine, then it's going to return true. What is going to return true? This function is going to return true. So this function will return true. Where is this function getting called? You can see here. So here return value will come. So on submit will become true. So it will take all the inputs which I've given. So it will take all the inputs which I've given. Again explaining, this is a function. This whole thing is a function. This is the function closing bracket, right? So these all if conditions are single statements, which is for the error finding. So all these 5 statements are nothing but finding the error that will return false. If suppose all of these things are not returning any error, if everything is correct in your web page, if every data is correct, then this function is going to return true. And when this function will return true, this true will go here, and this on submit will become true, and browser will get to understand that okay, it's the value of all the fields are valid, and I can take that up. So let's close this. Let's go back to my browser. Let's not put anything. Name cannot be empty. Let's put something. Email ID cannot be empty. Let's put something. Please enter a valid email ID. Let's put up here in the beginning itself add symbol and write something. Please enter a valid email ID. Let's put up here some text. Now that we have text, let's put up an add symbol. But because there is no dots, it's gonna give me. Okay, so without dot also it's gonna take it, but it should be having one condition also. It should be having one condition also here. With this it should also be having one condition in which dot should be mandatory, right? Right now it's getting inserted. Okay, let's say this one. Yeah, so it is getting inserted. Okay, so let's write it again. And here without phone number, it's gonna give me phone number is not there. Is it giving me? I don't think it is giving me the. Yeah, it's getting submitted. Phone number ka error nahi aa raha, right? So let's check out. Phone number is error. I'm not getting. Name is phone here. Name is phone here. So what's the error? Anything wrong? Value is equal to 0 is none. Have I given the curly bracket? Yes, everything is fine here. Name is phone, name is subject. Should present the output, right? Guys, if anything you can find anything wrong, please do let me know, because it should work. Even if you're not giving any phone number, it should tell me that you have not given any phone number. It's not giving me any error. There is something wrong. You can find anything, please do let me know. If you can find any error, any place, anywhere, there should be, must be something missing from my side, and that's why it is not giving me the output. Phone dot value, phone, my phone dot length is not equal to 10. Please enter a valid document dot get by ID. I think every spelling is correct. Inner text document dot my form dot phone dot focus, return false. Please provide your area of expertise. Document dot element, return false, return true. Okay. So I think it's gonna do something. Let's check out. Giving a name, giving an email ID. Just submit. It is taking it. Let's try to inspect and let's see what is the error. There must be something wrong in this part. Okay, if you're getting this, then please try to find out what is the error here, because I cannot find any error. Maybe it's not visible to me. Just check out, because only these two things are not working, right? I have written the same code, my form, every spelling is also right. Phone, I think I have written, yes, I have written it in a name way itself. Align right, phone number, type text, name, subject, that is also fine. There's no error here. There's no error here. One second, let me check. Guys, if you can find something, then please do let me know. Otherwise, yeah, so there is something happening here. Let's try to give some 2 minutes more, and then I will move to the next project if this is not working. Okay. Okay, I guess here everything is fine. There's nothing to change. Cool. So I think there is some minimal mistakes which is happening. I'm not being able to find what is the error here, but I guess code is correct. There's no change here, and it should give me the output of phone also. It should give the error. Please enter a valid text digit 10-digit phone number. Text spelling is also right. Don't know why is it not showing it. If you have any idea, then put it in the live chat, or otherwise once this video is live, put it in the comment chat why this is not working. Okay, and we'll try to figure it out why is it not happening right now. So we have done 3 projects right now. We have done counter, we have done landing page, and we have done validation, right? So we are going to do some more projects in our next part. Okay, we are going to do some more things. It was not inside this. Oh God, 1 second. Hmm. Fine. So yeah, so we have done 3 projects. We have done counter, landing page, and validation. We have one more project part which is left. So in that part, we are going to also understand some more projects, right, which I've shown you, and also some more new projects which you have not seen any time, right? So we are going to do that in the mixed projects. There's one advanced part of JavaScript which is left. We are going to take it tomorrow or day after tomorrow. And right now at 7 p.m. we are going to coming back with the interview preparation. Okay, so please do join that session if you are knowing about it, that there's a tips and tricks session which will be there at 7 p.m, right? I'll just schedule it, and you have to come back to that session and try to please join that session as well. We'll try to understand what are the tips and tricks which you should follow to give an interview, not from only quitting inside the company, but from the starting. If you're in third sem, then from third sem I'm going to tell you what you should do. Okay, so please join that. Also please do join the Telegram channel as well, so that you can get an update and notifications in the Telegram app as well. All the educators, when they're coming live, at what time, with what topic, all the things will be updated here. Also please do subscribe the YouTube channel, which is CodeBeyond, and please hit the notification bell so that you get an update and notifications in the YouTube app as well. Please like and share. Please like and share this video so that more and more number of people will get to know about this free course content, and they'll be able to get benefit out of this, right? And please, if you find the solution, if you find the error of this particular form validation, then please put it in the comment so that other people will get to understand what was the problem there, or what was the error, right? So please do help each other and put it down in the comment part if you got the error. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. I'll meet you back at 7 p.m with tips and tricks to follow part 1 and part 2. So bye bye, guys.